What's going on, squad? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Internet podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're doing something different for Pod Chats. All right. We're doing something different. Now, we are still going to be talking to our 10K Mastermind students, but the difference today is I've actually brought some of the Millionaire Mastermind students that graduated the 10K Mastermind a while ago, and they've gone on to do some amazing things. And so I brought them onto the podcast to share their experience and share their story about their come up in their online fitness coaching business, because I want every single person in the 10K Mastermind to realize what their potential is and where they could go if they just decide to go all in. So let's make some introductions, shall we? We'll go in a circle. First, we'll go with Mr. Ragnar. All right. What's going on, Ragnar? How you doing, brother?
What's happening, guys? I'm Ragnar. I see some familiar faces here in the 10K. I moved up to the MDM in June, and currently we're doing about 25K a month. This month, we're really shooting hard for 35. I've got 2 VAs, an editor, and a coach on the team, and a lot of my income comes through follower ads. I feel like that's something I've really got dialed in.
Boom. Let's go, Mr. Dan Lamb. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Pleasure to meet all of you guys as well. I'm Dan. Been in the MDM since I think it's April of last year, and I was doing 7-8K-ish around that range when I joined MDM. Last month we hit 23. So I have 2 setters, about to bring on a third coach, community manager, and an editor. So that's kind of my core team at the moment. Been doing online fitness coaching for probably 2.5 years. First year and a half got nowhere because I was poor and I couldn't invest in Brian. Saved up money, made the jump, and was an absolute game changer. So here we are.
Boom. I love it. And last but not least, we got Sammy. What's going on?
Yeah, hello, I'm Sammy from Australia, and I've been actually part of PT Dom since like early 2023 now. So I started in the CLA, built myself up, graduated to the 10K, built myself up, joined the MDM at the start-ish of this year. I think it was like February or something. And so now currently like really just focusing on building my team, which is terrifying and exciting at the same time. So now I actually, as of yesterday, have 2 part-time support coaches, which is really cool. One transformation, coach and a support coach. I have 2 VAs and they're helping me build a team because I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I haven't like just kind of growing and learning as I go, which is really cool. And currently I'm like 20 to 30K consistently. 20K is my new waterline of what I will accept. And I'm trying to get up to 30. My VA actually is like pumping for 50 this month. And I was like,
I think 50 could happen with the Black Friday stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 33 is like my highest. And last month I had the second record month whilst like barely working, traveling, competing, didn't take any sales calls, busy getting engaged, and like still at a second highest month I've ever had. So, you learn the tips and tricks, which is really cool. But yeah, is that everything? That was too much,
great.
probably.
That was great. No, that was great.
Turn.
And by the way, guys, we're going to do something fun because I want this to be extremely valuable for you guys on this call as well. If you guys have questions that you guys would like me to ask these students, you guys can drop them in the chat. These are all clients that have been with us for a long period of time and they fucking skyrocketed. So their growth on everything has been amazing. And so I want you guys to be able to ask them questions. So if you guys have questions that you would like to ask these clients, you guys can drop them in the chat box and I will answer them. And last but not least, how could I forget that fucking mustache, bro? All right. What's wrong with me? What's up, Max?
What up? So nice, familiar faces here. What's up, squad? My name is Maximus. Joined the MDM in August at the event. So since then, I've actually been able to make my YTDs. So everything that I made in 2024, I made in the last 3 months, which is pretty fucking cool. So yeah, I was just looking at that yesterday and I was like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. But I'm going the organic route right now. I don't have any ads bumping. I've got 1 setter, I've got a support coach, and then me. So just a 3-man team. I'm looking to maybe bring on another setter in the near future. But yeah, honestly, it's just, just picking up on from all these other motherfuckers that are crushing it and just, picking up, learning as we go.
Cool. So I want to kind of dive into struggles because I feel like there's a lot of people in the 10K that are kind of like working through, they're not in the beginning stages. They're getting into more of the advanced stages in their business, but they're starting to get busier. They're starting to get busier. They're starting to get like, the content, they're trying to dial in the content. They're learning about boosted posts, etc. So let's go into this first, and then we'll kind of go into some of the 10K and MDM stuff. Ragnar, for you, bro, like what were some of the struggles that you had when you were in the 10K specifically?
10K specifically, I mean, all along, the struggle was always content. It was always marketing. Like, I think any business is built on good marketing. If you can dial in your marketing alone, it fixes a lot of the other problems in your business. Like if you're having a problem with retention, if your marketing's on point, and you're bringing in a shitload new leads, it can kind of balance the scales there. Same with sales. If you suck at sales, but your marketing's great and you have a shitload of leads. So yeah, content. And that was something that I struggled with for a long time. I struggled with all through the CLA. So for context, I started in the CLA. We're coming up on my 1 year, or yeah, tomorrow's my 1 year. I started in the CLA November 6th of last year. No idea how to make content. If I go back and look at what I was doing then, it's fucking crazy. And I just kept at it. Content mastery, once I got to the 10K, I felt like was the game changer. Dialing in lighting, just kind of, and then also finding my voice, just kind of being more like just leaning into myself, being funny on camera and just having fun. And it just kind of like clicked at some point. And when that happened, like the income increased almost immediately, like with that.
So can you talk a little bit about, because everybody in the 10K right now, we're starting to learn about boosted posts. And can you talk a little bit about, number one, Ragnar, how many calls are you booking per month with your boosted post strategy? And number two, talk about how that's currently the primary vehicle for what you're doing.
Yeah. So call wise, I just did last month's KPIs. I can tell you exactly what it looks like. So average calls booked. Well, I'll just tell you the number for last month. We booked 77 calls last month.
77 sales calls in 1 month.
77. We had our average show up rate is 63%, and our average close rate is 39%.
Can you imagine booking 77 calls, 10K mastermind? What would happen to your business? You book 77 calls in a month. And like, just to be clear, I just want to be on average, Ragnar. Like, give me your average reel views on social media. Average reel views.
Right now, it sits at between 1 and 2K is average, but it's been much lower. Like I was making a lot of money. I was hitting 15K months, getting 300-400 views on most of my reels. So, and they're still low compared to like all the people that are going viral that I see in the MDM and other groups. I've always focused on speaking to one person. I know my avatar like inside and out. That's what really helped me with boosted posts. If you don't know your avatar intimately, you don't know their pain points, their struggles, how they speak, the words they use, then you can boost all the posts in the world. It's not going to do shit. You have to know your avatar on like an intimate level and you have to speak to them. And then the boosted post will just help you reach more of those people that would not normally see your content. And yeah, so that's always been my strategy. Like I don't give a shit about going viral. I don't give a shit about views. I care about conversions and money and speaking to the people that are actually going to pay me money rather than just chasing really cool high numbers. And now kind of with just getting better at content, we are starting to go viral too. So that's also cool.
Yeah, that's also cool. So I want to double down on this question because there's a lot of people in the 10K that need to hear this message. By the way, if this is valuable so far, guys, just say yes. When it comes to the avatar, you say know your avatar on an intimate level. I talk about this a lot, obviously, and you guys probably hear me talk about it so much that you're like, shut the hell up. So what did you do, Ragnar, to get to know your avatar on a deeper level so that your content could speak to more people that were actually going to buy?
So at like early 10K CLA level, when you have maybe 20, 30 clients, it's pretty easy to just go through and pick like 2 or 3 clients that you absolutely love, that are your best clients, that show up all the time, that renew all the time, that do the work, that are getting the results. And then just like you can go through and I mean, there's worksheets that you gave us. I actually did that homework, those little worksheets. I fucking printed it out and filled it all out. You can go through and do that with your top 3 clients and you can kind of identify similarities in them. Once you get to a little bit higher of a level where you have more data, where you have hundreds and hundreds of conversations started every day, 80, 90 clients, you've worked with hundreds of clients, then you can start to use AI. But yeah, I think at the 10K CLA level, like just pick 2 or 3 of your best fucking clients and figure out what they have in common. And I still do that regularly. Like I've got 80 clients right now. And there's 20 of them that I absolutely love and want to replicate. So I will send them questionnaires and I'll get more information. What do they do for an occupation? Do they have kids? What's their family? I'll just ask them a bunch of questions. I'll give them some like a $20 Amazon card or some bullshit just to fill out the flyer. And then so I can dial my marketing in not only towards people that are buying, but towards the people that I really want to work with. So yeah, that was really what helped me, was just finding 2 or 3 people that I really liked working with that were my all-star clients and being like, okay, what do they have in common? What do they do for work? How old are they? Do they have kids? What do they struggle with? What's their pain points? What kind of language do they use? What kind are they, blue collar, white collar? Because that's going to kind of let you dial in on what type of person you're looking for.
Drop a hell yes if that was valuable. Fucking Ragnar, my boy. I like that, bro. Thank you for sharing. All right, this is fun. All right, let's go to the guy that I almost forgot. again because I feel like an absolute piece of shit. All right. In Movember, too. We're like, almost forgot you in Movember, right? You got the
Crazy.
best mustache on the call. All right. Bragner's got the best beard. You got the best mustache. I'm just the average facial hair guy. Talk to me a little bit about your struggles in the 10K Max. Cause like I know you on an intimate level and when I say I know Max on an intimate level, he's came to like every fucking event that we've hosted. Elite Match and Mastermind came to the Elite Match and Mastermind. Like Max comes to everything that we do. So I know your struggles on a personal level, bro. So like, talk to me a little bit about what you're struggling with in the 10K.
I think two of the biggest struggles that come to mind, number one was mindset. I think just like the limiting beliefs behind like you see all these people in the MDM, you see all these people crushing it and going viral and all that shit. And really just believing that it's possible. And I think going to the events was like a really big, like, that squash that limiting belief, like realizing that all these motherfuckers are literally the same people. And like, I think it was Cole that said it. It was like, all these successful people, all these, rich people, famous people you look up to, like they all wipe their ass the same way you do. Like, so there's really no fucking difference. And that was like going to the events, meeting these people, shaking hands with them, breaking bread. Like that was really cool to see that, like, I really am no different. And, obviously the mindset work that you put in on top of it. But I think for sure content was the biggest thing. I was just banging my head against the fucking wall. It's nonstop, just trying all this different shit. And it didn't work. And it wasn't really until I felt more authentic. Like I was showing up like unapologetically myself, fucking saying the F-bombs every fucking video, just being myself, not really giving a shit and just not having that filter and just showing up, unapologetically like myself. And that's kind of when things started to click. I was lining up, I felt more authentic behind the content and it seemed like, so that's a little bit different to like, how Ragnar's like, and this is not me saying like, don't niche or anything, but like, I mean, I guess you could say like busy professionals, but that's so fucking vague. But what I noticed now is ever since like I became more authentic in my content, I started really showing who I am, the struggles that I go through, like speaking about like what's going on in my life, shit like that. The people that I'm like attracting into my program are people that speak the same way. They're swearing like me. They're no bullshit. They're straight to the point. They don't want the fucking fluff. They just want to be fucking told what to do. And I'm noticing more commonalities like on a personality level rather than like, they all work this fucking job. They all do this. They all, XYZ kind of thing. So like that's kind of been like the unique aspect of like my program. And like before things kind of started to go viral, Facebook changed the game for me. Like it was primarily just guys, but now I kind of have like a mix, honestly. I'd probably say like 60% guys, 40% women, and it's starting to like balance out. Like, and honestly, I thought it would be all women because of the recipes, but the amount of guys that actually make these shit like and eat the food is kind of surprising. So it's a pretty good mix. But yeah, honestly, content and mindset were probably like the biggest ones for sure.
So I want to speak on the mindset part because I think that there's a lot of people in the 10K mastermind. If you feel like you're in the 10K mastermind, you struggle with mindset, just say yes in the chat box. That like level of like self-belief where you're like, I'm going to fucking do this shit. And I'm like, it's 100%. Like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Cause I think that like Max, you did the mindset coaching program with me and Cole as well. That's why I said, I know Max on a deep level. He did the mindset coaching program, did Elite Match Mastermind, literally did everything me and Cole have ever fucking done. So talk to me a little bit about like some of the mindset work that you do personally on a regular basis, Max, that like helped you start to believe. Because I think that if you can shift your fucking mindset on like what's possible, like that's when shit starts to pop off. So like what are some of the things that you do on a regular basis to dial in your mindset?
Yeah, no, this is some fucking game for sure. If you guys don't have a fucking vision video, like you need to get that shit done tonight. Like that has been the biggest thing. Now I have undeniable proof that whatever I can put in my brain is gonna fucking happen. So like in the mindset program last year, it was like September, October-ish, made this video in December of 2024 and set some pretty fucking lofty goals. Like, traveling the world, wanted to be a six-figure business, what I wanted my recurring to be at, how many clients I wanted, different aspects of my life. And out of probably the 20 different things that I said in that video, I have 3 left and I'm on pace to crush every single one of them. So it's like now I listen to this shit. So like that's the caveat. Everything like in the morning, get up, do like my prayer, and then I listen to this video. I listen to it every morning now, and like 75-80% of the shit I've already done. So it's like every single morning, it's like I listen to this and I'm like, holy fuck, like I made this almost a year ago. And like now it's just like a reminder every day that it's like at one point, none of this shit was real. I was like, holy fuck, can I even do this? And now I fucking listen to it every day and I'm like, holy shit, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I'm just like, I made all of that shit happen. Like manifestation, the hippie shit that Brian talks about is fucking real. Like in simple terms, it's fucking real if you, put the intention behind it. And I think the biggest thing to really like, hammer this home is like the emotion side of things where it's like, your mind doesn't have the ability to depict between external and internal realities. That's why if you have a nightmare, you wake up and you think you're getting eaten by a shark, and you wake up, you're fucking sweating, your heart's fucking pumping, and you feel disoriented. Is because you're creating a fucking false reality in your mind that is actually what's happening. And you wake up and you're like, oh, it was just a fucking dream. So it's like, if you think about it like that, it's like, why not look at things through a different lens? Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at start to change. And if you start looking at your business different, if you start looking at this different, you start identifying as an individual that does this, that does that walks like this, that talks like that makes money like this, and you fucking feel the emotions behind that shit. Like, if you just do that shit consistently, like, I've got fucking sticky notes everywhere. I've got like a daily mantra on my background that every time I open my phone, I see it. Like, I've got constant reminders and shit around at all times throughout the day that it's like, I'm just constantly being reminded of the vision and the shit that's in front of me. And I think that has been like paramount to, like, I guess, fucking creating the reality I want to live in.
Boom. Drop a yes in the chat box if that was valuable. Drop some fire in the chat box for Max. Max has actually been on the podcast before, bro. Your ability to articulate your thoughts and just be more authentic is very, very clear. Very clear to me how much you've grown. So fucking proud. Fist bump.
I appreciate it, bro.
Fist bump. And I like your mustache. It's pretty dope. I like the mustache too. All right, Sammy, we're going to roll into you next. Let's talk about, because as you guys, I just want to highlight something. I want you guys to take note that, like, each one of these individuals has a different strategy, but each one of these individuals is sitting at 25 to 30K a month, you know? So they all have a different way of getting there, but it's like, it doesn't matter how you get there. What matters is that, like, there's multiple different ways to skin a cat, right? And that's why I think that sometimes it can get confusing when you're like, oh, this person's doing this and this person's doing this. What really matters is that we find the way that we resonate with and, like, the way that we want to run our business. Because Ragnar, as an example, when he's doing his content, all dialed in, all conversion, step-by-step, boosted post. Max, his entire business is built off of organic content, right? So, and there's not like one way that's better than the other. I think both are the right answer as you scale and as you get better. But I definitely think leaning into whatever strength you currently have or whatever you're really good at to get you to the next level is what's important. Like, when we look at clients that are at the highest level, like we're talking about, like, you know, Dr. Akani as an example, who just hit $100,000 a month. Dr. Akani does a mixture of both. But in order for Dr. Akani to get to that level, we first literally focused on the thing that was providing him the revenue, which was the organic content. Once the organic content was dialed in and it was popped off, then we focused on ads. So it's like, there's not one way to skin a cat. It's like, it's not one or the other. It will be both, but I think it's about doubling down on what you're currently good at. And you guys have access to all the resources. Like, you guys got access to Content Mastery. You guys have access to boosted posts. All of the stuff that these clients are using right now to grow their accounts and to grow their business, you guys have access to. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Every single thing that they've talked about so far, you guys have access to. Sammy, let's talk about you. What's up? How you doing?
Mine is, I want to say what you just said was like absolutely 100%, because that's something I'm really learning even in the $1 Million Mastermind, because I got in and I was like, I want to do everything. And then I was like, I can't do everything because that does not suit my business. And I will, like, it doesn't work to do everything at once. So, like, definitely, like, everyone has their own path. And I think that's super duper important, and not to compare to other businesses, because that's, especially once you get into the MDM, like, everyone has different models, everyone has different strategies. And it's like, you just got to find what works right for you. So yeah, that was like bang out what you just said, Brian, as with everything you say. But for me, my biggest struggles, my way I think I've built the business, and you've said this before, I think it was on the, like, mentorship Mondays, that's like built by brick by brick by brick. As painful as it is to not be one of those people that just, like, had a viral post and then just, like, exploded overnight. From, like, day one, I've been like that brick by very slow growth person, and just, like, consistent as fuck, like, does not miss on a single thing from the day dot. And that's been a really big thing, is like just getting really comfortable with one thing and then adding on the next thing and adding on the next thing, implementing one thing. Like, I feel like that's been a really, like, that's been my business model, like, for me growing.
I want to ask you a question. No, that was great. I want to double down on that, because you said, this is something that everybody in the 10K I think really needs to take home. You said you don't miss anything on the dot. Like, you're like brick by brick by brick. What are the consistent daily actions that you've taken from the 10K to the MDM that you do daily that you don't miss on? Because I know you're extremely consistent, and we talk about the definition of consistency, but I think you actually embody it. So, like, in terms of consistency, like, what do you mean specifically by, you know, you don't miss on the daily stuff? What does that mean?
Well, so I post every single day, twice a day, no matter what.
Carter, I told you to do that, bro. Told you to do that, Carter. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. And like, the how beneficial being that consistent is like, I also am, like, super organized. So I have had I always have heaps of content pre-batched ready to go. Like I do big batches of content at a time, to the point where like literally in the last month, because we've been traveling, I have barely filmed anything. I barely have filmed content since like before my comp, but I've had so much ready to go that, and I just slot in new stuff along the way that I can just keep pumping out content twice a day, every day. So content, absolutely. I'm talking on my stories pretty much every single day in some way, shape, or form, just so my community, my people can see me. Before I had a VA, I was sending out, I started it. I remember in the CLA, I started with 30 DMs a day, and I built myself up to 100 DMs a day every single day, no matter what, before I had a VA. And then obviously they've helped. But then when they weren't there, I was still doing it. So like, that's like a non-negotiable every single day. And then I just like my Google Calendar, that was a game changer. I was really struggling transitioning from part-time worker, like having a job still, to full-time in my business. I really struggled with that transition and getting into a routine and not being sporadic with my tasks and whatnot. And so having a Google Calendar and ride or die, this is what I do at these times. Like I check in on my clients, I do this, I do that, like following a bit of a routine that I do, and just like non-negotiables. I'm also, I guess that's the competitor side of me, is like I don't follow my emotions. I just follow the plan, and like I just don't care what I need to do. I'll just get it done, because that's more important, having that bigger picture goals. But yeah, consistency is like, yeah, I think not giving a shit about your emotions, just find a way to get it done would probably be my biggest thing. But content, script it, prep it, record it, edit it, post it twice a day, every single day, talk on your stories, do the DMs. They're probably like the 3 non-negotiables every single day, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even on an airplane, when I was traveling to America and whatnot, I pre-scheduled my content so I didn't miss like everything.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I want to double down that, because you said something that I think is really relevant. And I think that people struggle with this for sure. Like, how do you not let your emotions get in the way? Like what is the thing, let's say you have a day, Sammy, where you're like, fuck posting content, or I'm not sending DMs today, or like whatever, like your emotions are just like, I'm not doing it. I'm too busy, or I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out, which I'm sure you had during your prep. Like, how do you get yourself over that hump? Like, what do you say to yourself?
I've been having that at the moment with client check-ins, because I'm like so capped with clients at the moment. I'm like literally on Monday was like walking around the apartment being like, I'm so fucking overdoing check-ins. I do not want to do another one. And then I sat down and kept doing my check-ins. Like I'll just verbalize it. I'll have a little whinge, and I'll spend 5 minutes complaining about it to John or to the dogs or whatever.
To the
And then I
dogs.
just get back to the what? Yeah, they don't really, but like, and then I just get back to it, like, because my goals and what I want is too important to give a shit about like how I feel. And it's the same as how I do it in prep. Like, sure, there would be days where I'm like, actually, there were probably a lot of days where I was like, I do not want to do my cardio right now. I'm exhausted. All right, I said it. Now I'm just going to go do my cardio, because my goals are more important. What I want to achieve is more important to me than any excuse that I could possibly come up with to not do it.
That, I want everyone to write this in the chat. How important are your goals? Write that in the chat. I love that. I agree with that statement. How important are your goals? Like, if you have a goal of hitting $10,000 a month, you have a goal of hitting $20,000 a month. It's like, that needs to be the North Star for how you make your decisions. It's like, I don't necessarily love doing content all the time. I don't necessarily love some of the work that I got to do on a daily basis, but like, my goals are extremely important to me. I know what I want to achieve. I know where I want to go. I've got the vision video like Maximus talked about. I know the destination I'd like to reach. And because of those things, it's like, I'm just willing to do the work. So I love that, Sammy. I think that was a really valuable share.
That's probably been a really big one. And then when you mentioned like other kind of struggles in the mindset stuff, I definitely would agree that like self-doubt was a really big one for me as well. Like there were just a lot of times where I was just like, is this even real? Like, can I do this? I don't know. And so like, I think that was a really big one. So having that mindset video and stuff, and having proof of yourself, but that's another thing, is like, I'll have self-doubt and I'll be like, what the hell am I doing? Like even right now, while I'm building a team out, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, is this real? Like, still, like constantly, I'm like, can I do this? And like, I'll still be that person that thinks they're earning like $1,000 a month. And I'm like, I can't afford anything. But I'm like, but you remind yourself. But even in that self-doubt, it doesn't matter. I still do the same shit every day, but I'll still like have a freak out. And then I'm like, cool, just get back to work. So like even having that self-doubt, but having proof, reflecting back on how far you've come, what Max said was like absolute banger, was like a really good one. And then my last thing that I wanted to mention about that is like, it's okay to just be that like slow growing person as well. Cause I feel like I'll keep getting record months, but it will be like a record by like $1,000 or like 500. Like I just like creep up and I'm like, get a couple, like that's always been big one, because I think some people freak out seeing like, you know, you just joined the 10K and you're like, cool, I'm just making 5K. And people are like, I'm doing 20. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, or you see how quickly they grow. Because I'm pretty sure like Chloe and Harry joined like not that different timing to me. And
Yeah.
you can see the different, like that difference. But it's like, that's so different. Like, we're so different people, different everything. And like that is also like totally okay. But it doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Yeah.
You will get there as long as you keep going.
Drop some fire in the chat box with Sammy. Come on. Let's go. All right, Mr. Dan Lamb. What's going on, big dog?
So Brian, pleasure meeting everyone, and thanks for having me here. So you wanted me to talk struggles, right? Like,
yeah, let's talk struggles. You know, like what were some of the things? Because I want to speak greatness into the people that are on this call right now. You know, the people that are sitting around like that 5 to 7 to 10K a month, and they're like, I want to fucking. Everybody on this call wants to hit the next level. Everybody on this call wants to like grow and expand and like hit the next level in their life. You know, I don't think anybody, you know, enjoys being in the same place now that they were last month. So like for you, Dan, I want to speak some greatness into these people. You know, like where were you currently struggling with when you first started?
Yeah. I actually took some notes because I wanted to make sure I got everything down. But biggest thing, I mean, there were so many things, but for me, I'm kind of like Ragnar, which is that I never really got consistent calls booked from organic. Like going viral was kind of it wasn't the thing that came naturally to me. So I ended up finding a lot of success with boosted posts like follower ads as well. And as soon as I got my first one working, that's what actually started helping me get consistent calls on the calendar. So for me, it took a while to like test and find one that worked. But once I found one that was bringing in followers that were my ideal avatar, which I'll get to in a second, I just like doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on those. And I started formatting every post of mine to be able to be turned into a follower ad in case I needed to, so that I always have fresh creative that I can test. Brian's probably going to yell at me for not having any awareness content, but that's besides the point. Brian, we can talk about that later. Yeah, like it's funny you Ragnar mentioned that too, because I felt like that was my strength, or what I had a better chance of scaling to get to the next level. So that's why I doubled down on that. Besides that, Brian, I remember we were on a 10K call, and I came to you and I was like, man, I feel like I'm working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. I'm burnt. I can't do anything. And so I was just trying to climb through the 10K as fast as I possibly could to get to the MDM so that I could learn how to hire people and free up my time. Because I was working 7 days a week for the first 2 years. Like I didn't take a day off at all.
Crazy.
And I was stuck at this like 7K to 10K level, and I couldn't get beyond that. So I knew like, okay, something had to change. You can only do so much yourself. And so like for anyone who's in the 10K who wants freedom and wants to be able to scale, you got to hire people. You need help, right? You can't do it all yourself. And I think that was a realization for me too, which is why as soon as I got in the 10K, I'm like, I don't plan on staying here. Like I need to sprint through this and get to the MDM as fast as I possibly can. So marketing, like lead flow for me was always inconsistent before I figured out boosted posts. I had a little bit of organic, but again, the consistent lead flow came from that. I was also not that great at sales, so I worked a ton on that, like listening back to old sales calls. I even hired other mentors who specifically specialize in sales to learn from them as well. Brian, I just hired Austin Medlin as well, helped me redial in my sales process. Close rate is through the roof now. So
you're welcome, Austin Medlin, for the shout out on the podcast. Go
ahead. Right? Yeah. So I think it's just obsessing about the areas I was weak in, and I just kept working at it every single day. To Sammy's point too, creating a to-do list, I call like the success checklist, like knowing what are the key actions that are going to drive my business forward, which is for me, it was checking my ads every single day, tweaking, optimizing. Do I need to put a new one up? That comes first, because that's the lifeline of my business. Content block in the morning, so I don't have any meetings scheduled. Make sure that time is protected for me to have creative energy to script content. Checking in with my team to make sure that everything is all good, and posting on stories. Posting social proof is on my success checklist every day. Like I spam that shit. I took it from Brian, right? Like spam it as much as you possibly can, because like if you show proof, people are gonna feel more comfortable trusting you, because like there's a lot of people have been burned by bad coaches. So you have to be there showing up so that they actually trust you and then deliver on your promises. And one thing I will say too is I was definitely undercharging. I just 1.5x my prices recently. So I went from 2,500 to 4,000 for 6 months, and my close rate went up.
Crazy.
So what I noticed, what happens when you raise your prices is you get better clients. They take it more seriously and they don't fuck around, right? If you have some, like recurring is great, but like I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this, but when I have someone in recurring, the likelihood that they drop out of the program or suddenly have financial issues that come up is so through the roof.
Mhm.
But as soon as I started being like, no, it's 4K for 6 months, they're like, oh, this is actually going to work. Like he's serious.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't like, I think having recurring, this is my thoughts on recurring. I think having enough recurring to cover your base monthly expenses is fucking imperative, because otherwise you just start every month from scratch, especially like when you get into the MDM, because you got people that you need to fucking pay. And so if you got people that you need to pay and your expenses are like 2 to 3 to 4K a month and you don't have your recurring cover that, I think starting the month from scratch sucks. But I'm a big believer in paid in fulls, because I think that the people that pay in full are the ones that pay attention for sure. Big believer in pay in fulls. So I agree with that statement 100%.
Yeah. And like close rate went up, cash collected went up. So it's why not, right?
Yeah.
You get better clients, your business runs better, you have more profit to reinvest back in, you sleep better at night knowing that you actually have money coming in. So like that was a big thing for me. And then niching down, for context, like I work with Asian men, so me pretty much. And I think like niching down to such a specific avatar really made a big difference. Brian's laughing because he's like, I
I'm
knew
just, that's
this.
just a funny statement. That's a funny
Yeah,
statement.
yeah,
So
me, right?
Yeah.
Well, because you said, hey, find the previous version of you, and that becomes your avatar. And I was like, all right, that makes a lot of sense. So I started doing that. So like I noticed with niching down, all of a sudden I was attracting the right people. And when I was reaching out to them in the DMs, they're like, oh, I love your content. It's specifically for me. And when you do that, you get people that are like ride or dies because they feel like you are meant for them. So
Yeah.
you stop being generalist and you can like you carve out your little segment of the market and then you dominate that pool, and that makes you magnetic to your dream client. You don't have to work with everyone.
Yeah. I love it. Drop some fire in the chat box for Mr. Dan Lamb. What we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to do a segment where we're going to bring on a segment where you guys can actually ask some questions. Before we do, I just wanted to let you guys know in the 10K and listen to the podcast, for Black Friday, we are going to have an absolutely fucking crazy deal to join the MDM. All right. It's going to be fucking insane. And there's going to be an opportunity to win a $25,000 trip to come out and see Cole and myself, all expenses paid. I'm not going to tell you guys anything more about it right now, but I just want to let you guys know that Black Friday, we've got something crazy fucking happening for the MDM specifically and for the 10K. But well, I just wanted to quickly chat about that. Ragnar, honestly, what's your experience been 10K versus MDM? What's the difference?
Man, I kind of had Don Lamb's mentality on this too. Like I joined the CLA, I had no clients. Well, I had 2 clients. I was charging $200 a month each. So I had $400 a month I was making off these 2 clients. So virtually started from scratch. I raised my prices continually. Now I feel like I'm undercharging after listening to Don Lamb, but I charged $2,500 for 6 months.
It's Dan Lamb, by the way.
Damn,
I know
Dan Lamb. I apologize.
It's really
I can't
confusing.
read.
Bro, it fucks with me too. It really
Yeah.
does fuck with me. I'm like Dan and Don. That's hilarious.
All right, Dan. There we go. But yeah. So it just my idea was always like success favors speeds. I blew up pretty fast. I worked super hard all the way through. I put in all that extra time, like 7 days a week, nonstop. Just burned myself out through the CLA and the 10K. And the first month, I was stuck like 10 to 12K in the 10K for probably 3 months. And then kind of dialed in the follower ads, got better at sales, got better at DMs, and boom, hit 17K. And it was like that month, it was June when I got married. It was like, let's just do it, and jumped into the MDM. And main differences are, well, obviously, like they have all the structure to help you train and build a team, which is the next step in this. Like I don't think you can really make it over about 15, maybe 20K alone. And then you're just like killing yourself, working yourself to death. So like, I mean, right now I work 8 to fucking 5 Monday through Friday. I don't take calls on the weekend. And when I say work, I'm not like overwhelmed. Like I'm busy, but I'm not like, oh my God, I'm drowning in shit that I'm not getting done. So there's definitely a lot less stress with having people to do the stuff that I don't need to do so that I can focus on the more important stuff. But yeah, so there's that, just having I wouldn't want to try to figure out how to train a VA, how to train a coach without the MDM and without the ability to ask other people that have been doing this shit for years on what they do when you come into problems, which you're going to run into. I think a lot of in the 10K, there's this idea that, oh, I'll hire a VA and I'll never have to look at my DMs again. Like that is definitely not how it works, because call volume will go down, disqualified leads will go up. And then it's like you have to go in, audit conversations. Sometimes you have to just do it yourself. So yeah, having the support to like hire a team, build a team, know when to fire people, you got to start looking at profit margins and all kinds of other numbers. And then so that's just like the logical side of it, the data driven side of it. But really it's mindset, man. There's just an energy to the MDM. It is the fucking top of the food chain. You're surrounded by it all day. There's dudes posting, 100K 100K, 500K, like it's nothing. You know what I mean? So you can't be surrounded by like that level of excellence and that level of craziness and not have it wear off on you. It changes your mindset around money. It changes your mindset around what's possible. And there's also like no whining in the MDM. It's like people post with problems to solve, but it's just like a whole different, there's not any like whining or like I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. It's like, hey, I'm having this issue. What do you guys, has anybody else encountered this? So
and everybody jumps in. That's the cool part. As soon as somebody posts, like, dude, it's like I'm not even coaching half the time. Like by the time I log into coach, I'm like, oh, this problem's already been solved by everybody.
Already been solved. Like, and people post looms in there. Like a Connie is awesome. Like just this is what's working for me, you know? So yeah, I don't know, just the support, the community aspect and the mindset aspect is, I mean, that's why I went from 17K to 25K to, it's just, you just keep growing. You can't not grow in an ecosystem like that.
I love it. What do you think, Dan? What are your thoughts? MDM versus 10K.
Fucking, why are you selling the 10K? Go to MDM.
For real.
Yeah, it was, I mean, the conversations change, right? Because you go from asking, how can I do this myself to how can I work through someone else to get it done? And I think that was the biggest unlock for me is the environment and seeing, Brian, you, when I first came in, you were like, how are you adjusting to the temperature? Or like, how are you adjusting to the water level? I'm like, whoo, this is new stuff. Yeah. But it's really helpful to have all of those frameworks and like have someone who's already figured it out when it comes to building teams and scaling. You don't have to go figure that out because it took Brian a decade to do that or however long it took. So like you can go in there, get all the sauce and then be able to implement that for your business. And that's what helped me, like Ragnar, exact same story. I was stressed out of my mind, got in the MDM, finally got some breathing room and headspace back by learning how to build a team and how to become a better leader too. Like it's always an ongoing process, but that's kind of that's definitely the next move for sure.
I love it. Sammy, what are your thoughts? By the way, it was cool seeing, because Sammy used to come to every single one of my pod chats, and it was cool because now she just comes to every single one of my combos with B. It's just different. What are your thoughts on the differences?
But I did miss a couple of weeks while I was traveling and that because I kept cooking the time zone, and I was like, no, I felt very sad.
You.
I was busy traveling. So my like way of thinking about it, literally, I remember when I joined, like the difference between the two, I literally said this to John too. I was like, I feel like they've just gone like this and you just see all this new shit. And I was just like, my mind is blown. Like there's just so much more. And it's like taking everything to the next level. And it's like, whoa, like so many more ninja tricks, so much more like, but it's the next level, right? Like, and that's why I was ready to join because one, I was kind of like, feel like I've learned. You never feel like you never learned everything. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I learned everything. But like, I felt like I was like, okay, I'm kind of capped out here. Like, I need more. I need the next level. I need to know what to do next. Otherwise, I'm just going to get stuck. And so that's why I like, and I talked to you guys a lot too before I joined the $1 Million Mastermind. Like, I chatted to Cole about it and whatnot. And like it was like, I need that next step. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay here and not get anywhere. And so to me, and then when I joined, I was just like, whoa, this is epic. Like, I was so like, oh my God. Yeah, like nothing gets, like everyone shares, everyone has so many different ninja tricks. Like, that's the best way to explain it. It's just like, but also I would not have had a clue on how to hire a VA, train a VA. In the last like whatever months I've been in, I've learned so much about being a team leader, so much about what I want and what I don't want in my business as well. By having things that I didn't want happen, I was like, oh, I don't want that. I know that now. This is what I need instead. This is what I want. And so I feel like my business has evolved and improved because of everything I've learned about hiring a team and like learning all of that kind of thing. And my confidence as a coach has improved as well, just by doing all of that stuff. Was that kind of the question?
That's
Sorry,
great.
I'm going on a tangent here.
No, you're good.
Very easy to do. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is like I felt kind of capped, like not that there's so much knowledge to learn, but I was like, I need the next level. I need the next step. And I'm always a person who's like constantly doing something to like do more. So I would say, and it was like the best decision. Like, yes, it's scary. Like, and especially like full disclosure, like for the Aussies here, it's scary for us as well because Australian dollar freaking sucks. All the Canadians get it too, right? Like, so it was really scary for me. Like, it really was because it was a massive investment, but it was fucking so worth it. Like, it was just the absolute best decision. And like, I would not be where I am without doing that. And also like at the moment, I'm still very much like in it. I'm working way too much in the business, not on the business enough, but I'm doing all the things implementing to build myself out of it. And I can see that like little light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm like grinding now to make it so that I can have more freedom, which you cannot do on your own because like I nearly did something this week and you were like, don't do it. And I'm not doing that. What we talked about in the Facebook group, not doing it. I also had a longer talk with Mariah on her call, not doing it. It's fine. But like, because I was like trying to chase a carrot and I was like, oh, this is such a sick idea. I might do this. Like, oh my God. And then I discussed it with everyone and everyone was like, absolutely fucking not. Don't do that. Imagine what would have happened. So
it would have been a very stressful time for you. That's what it would have been.
yeah, exactly. So like there's just so many levels to it and so much benefit. It's like it's really just that next level. And it's like you unlock a little door and you get a new secret room you didn't know about.
Yeah, it's cool.
Kind of how I feel.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Max? What are your thoughts? Differences between the 10K and the MDM?
Yeah, I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but I think one of the biggest ones I noticed is like the community aspect where, and and this is like, no shade to anyone. I mean, obviously I was in the fucking 10K, but it's like you almost feel like in the 10K, it's like, you know a couple people more than you know the other people, but it's like, not everyone's celebrating your wins or not everyone's cheering you on, where it's like, you got some people in the shadows, pocket watching, they're kind of like, oh, like, they're just watching from the sidelines. They're not really saying much. But you get to the MDM and everyone's fucking, cheering you on, hyping you up, giving you fucking value, sharing the ninja tricks, the loom videos, where like it feels more of a community than it does in the 10K. In like the simplest word that I could do that. Yeah. Where it's like, yeah, there's people in the 10K doing it, but it's like there's a lot of people that just don't give a fuck about you in lame terms, where it's like in the MDM, it doesn't really feel like that. So that's pretty fucking cool, knowing that, you got some of these fucking sharks that are crushing 100K, 200K, 500K months that are just like, willing to help you if you need the help. So I thought that was a big one. But I think one of the biggest shifts, because I kind of, I say I jumped early, but it ended up working out. But I started making decisions before I needed to and really going off like my intuition and my gut. Like I went against Brian, and this is, I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not advocating for it. But I got a VA in the 10K before I went to the MDM because I was like, fuck it, this is my business. I want to do it. And I did it, and I got it before I needed it. And yeah, obviously, some fucking fire alarms were going off, and I'm like, oh fuck, like how do I train a team member? So I'm like, I should probably go to the MDM. And then same shit, I got a support coach a little bit earlier than I needed to. Ended up working out because I got 10 clients, 12 clients that like doubled my roster. So I was like, oh, so this was a good idea. But I think really just fucking like, honing in on like, like you're thinking it. You're like, I know there's a bunch of you motherfuckers in here that are like, oh, I'm thinking about the MDM. It's just like, just fucking do it. Like, whatever. Like, if you're scared about the money, it's like, aren't you upgrading the MDM to make more money? So it's like, that's just really fucking stupid. So that was that big part of it too, where, I just kind of was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And then it worked out. So
I love it. By the way, everybody drop in the chat box. We're going to say 10K rules. Because like Max brings up a good point. If that's how it feels, that's how it feels. And I want you guys to fucking shift that culture. My 10K mastermind students, I want you guys to make the decision that you're going to start cheering everybody on. Max, that's a good fucking point. I respect that, because like if I think about the difference between the groups, like I think the MDM students are a little bit more hype. So like that brings up a fucking valid point. But like that's up to you guys to shift that culture. All right. So hashtag 10K rules in the fucking chat box. We get to make the decision. All right. We get to make that fucking decision. Haha, too late. That's what I just said. That's hilarious. That's fucking funny. I love it. I was getting everybody to talk shit to you, but then I was like, you know what? That's actually not good. I don't like that. I don't like that. I was like, I already talked enough shit about you and your mustache. Guys, I fucking love you. We're going to do 5 questions for the fam. So if you got a question, Daniel, you got a question for the $1 Million Mastermind students. What's up, big dog?
Yeah, dude. All right. So now you guys have all got all these clients. I'm just hit like 35, I think, because I just signed another 3 guys on this week. How are you doing? I'm currently doing Loom video check-ins. So when you get a support coach, how does that help with check-ins when they're seeing my face on the bloody check-ins now? So that's the whole thing. I'm trying to set it up now so when I get to 40 or 50, I'm not, I don't know, pulling my hair out. Good joke. Like how I make it work. Because obviously with the Loom video, it's going to be me that you're used to seeing. So how does the support coach help with that sort of stuff? Like
I'll let you guys answer this.
I'll jump in because I kind of am in a similar spot because I've never done the Loom videos, but I do audio messages. Like that's just how I've always done it. That's how my coach. So I kind of just emulated my business off of my coach. But my support coach, I created like an SOP that she goes in there and pretty much just streamlines it. So it's like instead of me going in and like looking at like the weekly averages, like all their comments and like if they're really close on their macros, like all the minuscule shit that it's like, you're doing this for 30 fucking people, it's going to add up and your check-ins take hours. She goes in, does all this, types a summary, tells me what the weekly average is, what percentages they did for their workouts, their steps, all the shit that I need to just like glance over. And then I just look at it, open my phone, send the audio message. I cap myself. It can't be over 2 minutes. And I just like rip through all of them. And I'm working on changing. I have like check-ins on multiple days of the week. I need to condense them all in one, but I'm just, working through that. But like, that's kind of how I structure it, where it's like I just like I get in there, I do the shit, and I get out. Where it's like that took off like an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of time on my check-ins.
Yeah,
Mm.
crazy. That's crazy.
I split it. I started a mid-ticket program when I got to the MDM. It's $300 a month and it's written check-ins, and I don't even fucking look at those. So basically, after I sell them on the phone, the support coach 100% does that. There is also an option to bring on, and I think Sammy can maybe clarify this a little bit more, and I'm looking at it too, a transformation coach that is the front-facing coach that would actually do your check-ins for you. Right now, I'm still doing all my high ticket. It's like 60-something check-ins a week, but same with Maximus. I have Leanne kind of help me dial everything in so I know where everything's at, and it takes 4 to 5 hours. And right now, it's just like my retention is through the roof. Nothing's broken, and I'm willing to sacrifice 5 hours a week to keep clients longer. So that's just kind of how I'm looking at it right now. But yeah, the mid ticket, I don't touch any of that. $300 a month or $1,500 for the whole program and then it's a written check-in, so it's not a video check-in. And people have been doing really good in that too.
Yeah. Do you want me to go then? I'll talk about. Oh, sorry. Do you got a question, or do you want me to talk about the transformation? What I'm a bit different, I think.
Yeah. Tell them what you're doing.
Okay, because my check-in process has actually evolved a little bit over the last couple of months with my support coach. She's now transitioned to a transformation specialist. So I actually do voice notes as well. Like I've always done voice notes, and then still like quite limiting on what you can do to expand. And I'm a rambler, so I fucking always talk too long anyways. So it worked out really well while I was traveling. I had to transition to written check-ins because I was like, I'm on an airplane, can't do it. Sorry, guys. Like, you got to do the written check-in. Anyway, so what I started with was I got a support coach she would do the same sort of thing. She would do summaries. We'd have the form. She'd summarize it. She'd also put it in a table format for me. So I could literally go along in my voice note or I would do a voice note no matter what, but I would do a voice note and she had it on a form. So I could just be like, bang, 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 done. Like I could just read across the form, see where they're up to. She would do the screenshots of their nutrition, everything, and got all of that done. Now, initially, that took a really bloody long time for her. And then I had the realization if I do a Google form, it can pre-populate into the spreadsheet and then it saves us like a shit ton of time. So, you learn processes along the way. And then when I wanted to transition out of voice notes, what I do is I just like say what I want to say, paste that text. Life hack, I paste it into ChatGPT. I've trained ChatGPT to sound just like me, and it will summarize my ramble into like a beautiful little voice text that then I send to the client. And so it's super duper fast. They have something to come back to, and it's also transitioning everyone to written. So then I can also, have other strategies behind the scenes. And then if they need a little bit of extra touch point, I'll send the check-in and then I'll just be like, hello, hi, just also wanted to say this to you, because then they still hear me, because to me that connection is still super duper important. So I just like make it a little bit more sporadic. So then they're like, oh, hey, Sammy, like they get more excited. But the written for all my levels, high ticket, mid ticket, everyone has written. Now, my next thing is so that's like my clients. So I still do my check-ins, but I just have a lot of like automation, a lot of support to make it really, really quick. And then I'm not taking on any more clients myself anymore. I'm capped. It's all my transformation specialist. She's the day-to-day coach. She does everything, and I oversee everything that she does like a hawk, because I'm a control freak and will like way too fussy about everything. But like she will do everything, and she will do that exact same process. So she started as that supporter and then transitioned over.
Just so you're aware, like everybody that's like, they're like, what's a transformation specialist? Essentially what it is you bring on a coach to your team that coaches your clients alongside you. So they're not taking over the client, but it's like you and the coach end up coaching.
We're together.
And so
we're in a group chat.
Yeah, in a group chat. So the client ends up getting coached by you and the coach, but the transformation specialist is the one that's doing the videos, the Loom videos, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's the only way. But for you right now, where you're at, life hacks would be however they do their check-in form. I transitioned out of the Everfit form into a Google form, because then I can just like copy and paste, put it over there, got my support coach to put a few summaries in, just like everyone else has said. I'll talk it out, teach ChatGPT to be a banger for your written, and then you can just pop voice notes in. But do it sporadically. Don't do it every single time. Do your best clients who need the least amount of touch points, the least amount of support. Start doing that with them. Just do it like every second check-in. Start just like sprinkling it in. Then you just like slowly transition them over to the point that they don't even realize that that's what you're doing, which is exactly what I did. Because of competing made me have to do it and traveling and whatnot. But like I would do a voice note 1 week and then I would do a written and then I would do a written and then I'd do a written and then a voice note. And like I just kind of did it. And now I'm just doing it. And like no one has said anything. And my retention is still very high. And so I'm transitioning it over. But I will also, I'll be different in the fact that I probably, at least not for a very long time, will I let Reggie do a check-in without me reviewing everything first? Like I'm probably just a little bit different in that modeling. But there's other little things. But I'll say that. Change it. That's what I did first. I do something else slightly different, but I use that now. That's like, that saved me a shit ton of time. And I do like 50 in a day. Easy. Not easy. It hurts my brain. It's too much, but I can do 50 in a day.
Daniel, is that helpful?
Yeah, that was good because I was thinking, how do I transition it without them cracking in my head, cracking the shits from going from video to text? Sprinkle it.
Sprinkle it in.
All right, cool.
Sprinkle it in.
Cool.
That was perfect. Thank you, all of you. That was brilliant.
Danny boy, you're the man. Go, Mr. Carter. What's up, Carter? How you doing?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing amazing.
Good, man. Hey guys, so we have been posting like crazy. Mr. Mark told us to go violently after posting two posts a day. So we've been doing that. I gotta say, like, I put up the most immaculate piece of Brian Mark-esque, charming, beautiful, articulate content that I've ever put up. And, you know, we've had like 50,000 views, 10,000 here, a couple thousand here, whatever, and got like not like a few hundred views. And so I'm wondering, like, we're sitting here going, what? Maybe, but it was this time and our living room light was on. So maybe if we turn that up, like just trying to figure out. So my question for you guys is like, does that matter? Is it a focus? Should we consider that? Like, where should our focus be after we post the content? Do we just let it go, move on to the next thing, regardless of what the numbers are? Or is there something in that we should pay attention to learn and improve upon for next post?
Do you study your old content? Like, I would say the first thing I would say is no, it doesn't fucking matter. Some of your shit that you think, some of the shit that I post that I'm like, this is going to kill it, this is the best reel I've ever done, flops. Other shit that like I did a thing with 2 pieces of steak, you know, a piece, they were actually both ribeye. I said one was a sirloin, one was a ribeye. And the idea was the difference in fat content. And I did it in like literally 10 minutes before we ate, just like hodgepodged it together with an iPhone. And it went viral. It got 200K views. So the shit sometimes that you think is going to do really good isn't. What I would recommend, in what I've started doing a lot more of over the last 6 months, is go back and study your content that does really good and try to replicate that as much as possible. And like when I say study it, like, what's it about? What was the hook? What were you talking about? What were you wearing? If I wear a fucking black tank top and no hat, my content does better than if I wear a t-shirt or I wear a fucking backwards hat. Instagram is super, super shallow and vain. So now I shoot pretty much all of my content in 2 of these little stupid black tank tops that I have. So what were you wearing? What were you talking about? What was the hook? And then try to find different ways to remake that. Like the steak one, it was a comparison, this or that. So now we're doing, you know, fast food comparisons, just all kinds of stupid comparisons. So yeah, try to replicate the shit that works, and the shit that doesn't work, honestly, just let it go, because sometimes it's just not going to work. And sometimes you might be really close. It might have been a great piece of content. And if you shoot it again with a different hook and you shoot it again with a different, you know, a little bit of a different creative, it might blow the fuck up. Also, I started doing 3 hooks for all of my reels and then beta testing them on TikTok. Game changer. So sometimes one will get 2,000 views and one will get 120. It's crazy how much the fucking hook and the visual hook with the initial, like what you're doing and what you're saying in the first 3 seconds, game changer. So that it's a little bit extra work, but it's really not much. You just come up with 3 alternative hooks for everything. And then once you get like 10 hooks that work, I just recycle those bitches and I just change them a little bit for the thing. And like, if it works, it works. Just keep doing it.
I want to jump in. So like, I love that. I love that statement. And I think this is good advice for everybody. So Carter, I'm going to give you guys the advice of like once a week. So here's what I think. is I agree with everything Ragnar said. I think once a week. So like on a day-to-day basis, it's like I wouldn't be too concerned on a day-to-day basis with like how the content's performing on a day-to-day basis. I would be concerned like, so once a week you guys sit down on like, you know, a Saturday and you're like, okay, like let's take a look at the content that we posted this week. You know, what was the best performing content? So like we'll organize it based on the views. So the best performing content, we get the best performing content. Okay, so why was this the best performing content? And then we like take a look and we try to like was it like what was I wearing? You know, what was the outfit? What was the subject matter? What were we talking about? So that's the first thing I'll look for. Second thing I'll look for is like, what was a piece of content that I think should have done well? Like a piece of content that I'm like, this should have done better. Like, you know, like the subject I was talking about, or like this video's gone viral before or whatever. And then I'm like, how can I make this video better? So that's a conversation I'll have with myself like once a week. I'll look at my content. I'm like, I thought that video was going to crush and it didn't. So how can I make that video better? I'm like, I think the reason that this video didn't perform is because when I opened it up, I was kind of a little bit dry in my opening. So the next time I'm going to be more energetic and I'm going to be shirtless because I'm Carter and I'm jacked as fuck. So let's try it with a little bit more energy. Let's try the opening hook being shirtless and let's do a similar style of video next week. And then we just keep doing those tweaks and iterations. And it might take, you know, I know we spoke of this on our call too. It might take a month. It might take 2 months. It might take 3 months, but like you guys are good. It's going to happen for you. Like you're going to pop off. It's only a matter of time. So I would be auditing it on a week to week basis. And the same sort of analogy that we give to our weight loss clients, Carter, it's like our weight loss clients might not lose weight. You know, they go to the gym for 1 week. They might not lose weight every day, but like on a weekly basis, if they're dropping, you know, 1 pound, it's like, then we're good. And I think the first measure of success is to get 100 reps out. And then once we get 100 reps out, then we can start being like, okay, like let's really start paying attention to the quality now.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Cool.
I will say, since all of the advice and going through the content course and all of that stuff, we're getting a lot more engagement. We have a lot more leads. Like the business is definitely doing way better and everything's just like kind of percolating. We did 8 grand last month with like guessing over nothing. And then we joined just over a week or so ago. I'm going to be disappointed if we don't do 15 to 20 grand this month. I have a list of 30 people here just like waiting to, you know, join our program. We really should be doing it. So it's, you know, what you guys have given us so far is incredible. We're super grateful for you, man, and your brilliance. I know you love hearing stuff like that. And the other, so I don't know if anybody.
I received that compliment, bro.
You're like me.
I like words of affirmation, bro. Thank you.
Dan, Maximus, Sammy, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for everything you're sharing. Ragnar, thank you for what you contributed. I don't know if you guys have anything else that you want to share to ease my pain and pacify me.
I'll to ease your pain. Yeah, I'll piggyback off of Ragnar in a different angle, which is that I would say just focus on the big rocks, which is the piece of content you're putting out actually solving a genuine problem for the person you are specifically trying to help? You just nail that, everything else will take care of itself. Like my content doesn't really pop off that much. I want it to. That's always great. But what I noticed with conversion content that is super specific, and I know valuable is like a relative term, but like solves a specific problem, is that your content might not get a ton of views, but when you go and reach out to people, you're going to get higher response rates. You're going to get more bookings on your calendar because they're like, oh my God, you actually solved a genuine problem for me. Sometimes it's like detach yourself from the views for a second and just think like, did I pour my heart and soul into this? And do I feel like it's going to help somebody?
Yeah.
You can get super laser targeted on that. And even if your lighting is not perfect, even if it doesn't pop off, like my videos get, I don't know, 2,000 views, 3,000 views on average. It's not a big deal. It's fine. You know, you don't have to go viral every time to make a good income. So I would just focus on because that's like the one needle mover, right?
Yeah.
Problem. Yeah.
That's a great piece of advice.
That's a really great piece of advice. Yeah. Thank you.
If they're mentioning it in the DMs and when you get on sales call, like that's always a sign to me. I get that all the fucking time. That's all. I watch that more than I watch views. Like if every DM conversation and every sales call we get on is like, dude, your fucking content, I love it. I saw that reel and I was like, man, I need to change this and this. You're on the right track.
I was literally going to say that.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's fucking huge.
the best bit of feedback is when people are like, oh yeah, I saw this piece of content and I really trusted in you, and that's why. And like that's probably one of the things actually that's grown my business heaps is like it's just been people feel like they can open up and trust in me. Like people will be like, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, and I'm like, I have that impression on people. It's fine. And it's like I think it's because in my content people say I just explain shit that makes sense. I don't overcomplicate it. Like my level of degrees that I have versus like how I actually explain things are two very different things, and it's just like keeping it really simple and focusing on like, is this actually helpful? And getting that feedback from in the DMs. And same, like I just cracked 20K followers, but like I still only get like 2,000 views probably on my post. Like the math doesn't math, but it's because it's like the quality. And then that then leads to like the DMs are very easy. It's very easy to make a sale. It's very easy on the sales call because that content's just so normal and easy for them, and it's focusing on them that they're just like, I want to work with you because you seem like the right vibe, you seem like the person, like, so it's like that. And then it's just like, cool, join my program, you don't have to like sell, it's just like come on in.
Do they give you
So
love
yeah,
letter or DMs?
yeah
They give
when
you
you
love
see that,
letter.
Yeah.
Do they gas you up?
yeah
Love
They're
it.
like, oh, you said
So
this
it's the
specific thing and I love
feedback.
that. Yeah, it's the feedback, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. Bri, I just want to tell you what I told Janelle too last time. Some of you guys might have been on the call, but I said, you know, my wife used to think I swore a lot till we joined this program a week ago. And now I'm the angel of the crew. So I appreciate you guys.
I gave you contrast. She sees me now and she's like, okay, well, you know, you're actually not bad.
But
Cool, I
thank
love
you
it.
guys. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for being my client, Carter. I appreciate
20K,
it.
20K,
it,
dude.
brother.
Let me know
20K
when it
Carter,
happens.
come on.
You said
Raise
it.
your
It's gonna
prices.
happen.
You get 25. Easy.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Dana, what's going on? By the way, is this valuable, guys? I know it's a surprise, but I wanted to shake it up a little bit. You guys getting value? What's up, Dana?
Hey, how's it going?
Amazing. How are you?
Definitely a lot better than I was yesterday. So my main question is, before you got to the MDM and you were doing everything such as tracking your KPIs, your leads, your follow-ups, also tracking your clients, the revenue and all of that, like how, when you get to a point where like, say your lead tracker is like over 400 people, how do you avoid not getting overwhelmed, or like you follow up with somebody and then like they message you back, but then you're like following up with everybody else? Like what would you say is the thing that's helped you kind of keep your head straight when you have all these different things going on before you got to the point where you could hire people to help?
I think for sure the biggest thing for me was just like getting out of my own way and like kind of like I'm just a very direct person. That's just the feedback I always respond best to. But like I think it's like you've got to create a different reality where it's like obviously organization, having your calendar in check, like the things that Cole and Brian just beat into the ground, that like the foundational things. But like in the grand scheme of things, it's like, if we're continuing to identify as like, someone who's getting overwhelmed, that like this is too much, that's too much, or like, shit's hitting the fan. It's like if we're constantly putting that energy out, we're constantly putting that focus on those things, like that's all you're ever going to experience. So it's like if you're constantly operating from a place of, oh, this is overwhelming, or oh my gosh, like I've got this going on, or because I used to do the same fucking thing. I would see the shit, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm done, close the laptop, and then I wouldn't get the shit done. But like if you are just, always looking at things like, fuck, like there's so much shit's going on, it's like that's going to be the reality you're going to live in, and you've got to change the way that you look at things. Like that's going to be the biggest thing.
Max is a wise fucking man right now.
Max is he's spinning bars. I would say let the little fires burn. Like it doesn't, the marketing, getting content out there, sales, and delivering to your clients is the only thing that matters. So like if you're getting in the weeds of the CRM and like the leads and this like inbox, calls booked, paying client, if you can just focus on those things, you might feel like you're drowning because you have your mind on all these little fires that are happening in your business.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to let those burn and figure out the big things, because once you figure out the big things, you'll have the resources to solve the little things with other people's help, not you. Like, don't do all that stuff.
I need to do this more often.
That's really fucking helpful, because I always feel like if I have all these little fires and I'm clearly not doing something right, and then that kind of perpetuates a lot of that like self-doubt, like, oh, I shouldn't have little fires. I should be able to do everything, keep everything moving efficiently. Like if I can't do it myself, how can I expect to have somebody else do it, But I guess that's a really good point of letting the little fires burn. I did have one other question, because I know a lot of you guys do travel very often. What has helped you most with like when you go through schedule changes or like time zone changes or irregularities in just like, when you start your day, like I know calendar, but like say, when you have things that unexpected happen, like what is your biggest tip for like staying grounded and focused in those moments?
Sammy, you just did a show. So you're the perfect person to answer this.
Yeah, I've literally been traveling like nonstop since September. Literally, we got back from America like 10 days ago, and then I found out that we had to travel to the Gold Coast for a week. And then actually we'll get home, and then I've got to go back, and then I'm coming to Sydney to see you. So that's another.
Who else
trip
is
away.
coming to
And then-
Sydney to see me? Who else is coming to clean out the live? Oh, Dan and Max are coming. Come on, let's go.
Yay! I'm so excited to see everyone. But yeah, so definitely traveling a lot. So I lock in on like my non-negotiable, like kind of just same sort of thing, non-negotiables. They may change a little bit in the times, but like to me, my grounding is like, having something like my morning routine, my morning coffee. Like I lock in on my morning routine no matter where I am. I do the exact same thing every single morning. Movement, exercise, gym, like I always prioritize that sort of thing. And I will like I definitely am someone probably who does a bit more, like I'll be on my phone working, often checking on clients while I'm on the treadmill or just like, but I just slot little bits and bobs in, but I just have those non-negotiables like in the morning and in the evening, at least I have to jump in the coaching app and I check in on my clients. I go through the inbox, clear it all out. I have instead of following like a calendar while I'm traveling, because obviously like you're right, you're off doing things. I want to go enjoy when I was in Hawaii. I want to go enjoy Hawaii, switch off. So instead of following like a time slot calendar, I would have a tasks list. And I would just list out the absolute tasks that I have to get done that day. I still put it in my Google Calendar, but it's like, these are the things I have to do today, absolute bare minimum. And this is like the stuff that I would like to get done. And so I would prioritize that and we just slot it in. So you're not going to be out and about all the entire day. I don't know, we're the kind of people that can't tolerate doing that. So might chuck it in the morning. Maybe I'll stack it while I'm having some food. Ideally you don't want to work while you're eating, but like you're just going to stack some habits. And so if I'm walking on the treadmill or if I'm at the gym, I might do a little bit of work at the same time. If I'm eating, I'll do a little bit, but I just follow like the things I have to do as my priorities, even if the times are a bit whack. And like also just depending on what you want to do, like I was working quite late at night most nights, like just because I was like, look, this is the best time to just lock in for like an hour or two, sacrifice a little bit of sleep, but at least I can go and enjoy my day a little bit more. Utilize travel time, like when you're on the plane or when you're doing that, it's like perfect time to lock in. So just finding those little time blocks I found really beneficial. And then other things that just help with the routine is like I'm like super routine with my food and whatnot, which also then just helps to keep like, so just I always try and just like do the same thing as I normally would, but I just but does that help? I also totally like what Max said. The first thing you said, I'm so sorry, but the first thing you said when you were like, I'm better than yesterday, in my head, I was like, dude, yesterday didn't even happen. Today's the best day of your life. Like, fuck yesterday. Like in my head, I was like straight away being like, don't speak that into existence. Like as soon as you speak anything into existence, it's your reality. So like I totally learned this from like so much of this mindset shit's from Brian, definitely. But it's like, I call my clients out on it. Like if they ever submit a check-in and they say, oh, no wins this week, or oh, I don't know, I can't think of anything, I'm like, absolutely freaking not. We will jump back in and find a win. I don't care if it's just that you woke up and you got a really yummy coffee one day in the week and the rest of the week was a shit show. At least you had a really delicious coffee. So it's like always find the good and focus on that and always speak that into existence. So sorry
Love
to like
you guys.
double up on what
So
Max
much
said,
fun.
but when I heard it, I was like, no, don't say that out loud. Like don't speak it into existence.
Yes. Yes. Dana, was that helpful?
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you guys so much.
I love it. This is great. You guys are fucking awesome. I'm proud of you guys. This is great. See, it's like, it's different because obviously I see you guys always on Convos with B. So we're always like, we talk about wins, then we solve business problems. But it's like, it's cool to see you guys in like your authority shoes, giving value. It's fucking dope. I love it. It's great.
All grown up.
All grown up. You're not little pups.
Yeah.
Little pups and puppets anymore.
I actually love this side of things. Like this is what I want to do more as a coach. Like I love being like that, less about the little nitty gritty stuff. This is the fun stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That's the best part about scaling. You got to do this more. It's so cool. What's up, Stevie? Welcome to MDM chats. We're gonna do this more frequently. Maybe it's every 6 weeks. Maybe it's once a month. But this is great. If you guys want me to bring back some MDM students next month to learn from some new MDM students, just drop a yes in the chat. This is fun. What's up, Stevie?
I'll say yes out loud. Yeah, this is great. Okay, so this is a question for all of you. but it seems like it's going to primarily fall to Sammy just because she mentioned in the chat, I saw it, I'm time blind as fuck. So am I. And like to the point where it's literally, Sammy, worse than anyone else I've ever met. Like I'm in the military and I'm still late to everything despite consequences. Like it's really, really hard for me and I'm getting better at it. So for all of you guys, it's really bad, guys. When you are still solo, like working in your business and on your business at the same time without a team, what were some key systems, automations, or time saving hacks that helped you keep up with the workload and scale sustainably? You guys talked about check ins a little bit already, but if you have any others, that would be amazing.
I have one.
Absolutely.
I have
Yeah,
one.
you go first.
I go first. I'm going to go on this one. I'm not going to let you guys take this. I want you to repeat after me. I'm always on time.
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 Always on time.
I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I have a story for you. Now, the reason I have a story for you is because Kirsten, so like honestly, being married to me, I feel bad for Kirsten. I really do, because like I couldn't imagine being married to me, because anytime she says something, I'm like, da, 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 and, you know, so don't speak that into existence. She's like, shut the fuck up and let me talk. But she used to believe that she was bad with time. That was something that she would believe. And she would always say, like, I'm always late, I'm always late, I'm always late, da, 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 da. And then like finally, after, you know, being together for 2 years, one day I was like, okay, babe, maybe this is a belief that we can explore together, you know? And I had to approach it in a little bit of a different way. So I think that the first thing that needs to happen before we figure out the systems around, because like, here's what you're trying to do, okay? What you're trying to do is you're trying to find a system to make up for the deficit of the limiting belief that you have. So we're trying to figure out an automation or a system that can make up for the deficit of the limiting belief that you have. And the limiting belief that you have is that you're bad at time. And so you're like, okay, I need to get an automation because I'm bad at time, or I need to get a good system because I'm bad at time. But what if, and this is like, I want you to explore the possibility, because I know I'm just speaking out of my ass right now, and you're probably like, you're like, fuck you, okay? You don't know how bad I am with time. What if we had a world where you just became better with time? What if you just got good with time? What if you just made the decision that like, I'm on time? And then we just start affirming that to ourselves every day. I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I'm always on time. And for the first 4 weeks, it's going to be bullshit, because you're undoing, literally at this point, you're even in the military and you've convinced yourself that this is true. So at this point, it's like, we've got like 25, 30 years of convincing yourself you're not good with time. So for the first 4 weeks of Stevie always being on time, it's going to be bullshit. But every single time you're just like, I'm always on time. I'm always on time. And then after 4 weeks, I'm always on time. After 4 weeks, you're going to be on time for something. You're like, oh shit, I'm always on time. Right. And then you're going to start to see some positive affirmation that you're actually on time. Then you're going to start to convince yourself, oh, I'm always on time. I'm always on time. Shit, I always show up and I'm always on time. And then slowly over time, you keep doing that for 4 weeks, then 8 weeks, then 12 weeks. Then you're just going to be Stevie that's on time. It sounds that simple. It's because it actually is. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Easy would be like, I'm always on time. Bam. Snap your fingers. You're always on time. You just undid fucking 25 years worth of programming. But of course, it's not easy to solve the problem, but it is simple. Stevie, you're always on time. You're always on time. You're always on time.
Shake your head no. Shake your head.
You're always
yeah.
on time.
I'm bought in. I'm bought into this.
You're on time. Stevie, you're on time. You're always on time.
I'm here for it.
You're fucking always on time.
I've done harder things by doing this exact thing, and I can do it with time. And I will.
Absolutely can. And Stevie, you are so good with time. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's better at time than you are. I think you're the best at it. You're always on time.
Always on time.
You're always on time. Okay, so now that we've discussed that, is there any, so let's go tactical, because now I don't want to just leave you with like hoopla, but I do want to say that like every day, I'm always on time. That's the affirmation. I'm always on time. My name's Stevie. I'm always on time. And guys, that affirmation, I'm talking to Stevie, but Lot, I could be talking to you, because maybe you're like, I'm not good at content. Daniel, maybe you'd be like, I never go viral, right? Yeah, I could be talking to you. I'm awkward on camera. Whatever the fuck you're saying to yourself, okay? I'm talking to Stevie because she's always on time, but I could be talking to you. Whatever you say to yourself. I digress. Yeah, probably should have been late. Probably late, TBH, LOL. She's on time. Stevie asked that question on time. Time-saving hacks. How do you guys get more work done in less time? Max, go.
I don't really have a ton of automations. The only one I have is like an onboarding one, super easy to like Zapier. So like anytime a new client is like created in Stripe, they get zapped an onboarding email, an invite to my school community, and then an invite to Trainerize. It creates them as a client. So it's like as like that's when I know the fucking payment went through because it's like new client has been added. Where it's like I'm on the call with them. I'm like, all right, sweet. You should have just got 3 emails from me. Read the email first. That's going to explain all the onboarding in depth. All the videos are going to be in the school community. Just hit the accept button. You'll be in there. And then it's like my automations, or I should say my onboarding, fuck words are hard, is automated. So it's like I'm not getting off the fucking call and like typing the shit up. And then, because I would get off the call, I'm fucking hype, whatever, something else would come up. And then I'd be like, fuck, I got to send this email. And this an hour later, it's like they get that shit immediately. That just already just sets the tone that like I'm on top of my shit.
Ragnar, time-saving hacks, go.
Number one, I don't believe in hacks. I think you just work hard and you get the effort that you put into it back out of it. I actually hate that term and I refuse to use it. Now, for like optimizing your time, I guarantee you have a ton of time every day that you're just wasting scrolling your phone, doing nonsensical tasks. I fucking do it too. I catch myself doing it all the time. If you can reduce that, if you can reduce the time between tasks when you complete a task rather than spending 15 minutes scrolling Instagram, seeing how your last reel did, doing a whole bunch of shit that doesn't matter, you're going to create an extra 3 hours in the day. It's amazing how much time we waste on dumb shit. So that is where I would start. That's really helped me on days where I just move from task to task to task without any distractions or deviating from it. What also really helps is put your phone on do not disturb, because that's what kills me. I've got messages coming in. I've got a ton of shit. It doesn't need to be answered immediately, but my psychology is like, oh, I have to answer all of this immediately. So just turning it off to where I have to go find the notifications is a huge help. But yeah, so I would focus on trying to get back the time that you're losing on stuff that's not moving the needle in your business. And then also, like Dan hit on it earlier, focus on the tasks that move the needle. Like you're alone, you don't have support, you don't have coaches, you don't have people to help you. Like literally what money creating tasks, so DMs, content, sales calls, client delivery, and content. Like that's what you need to be focusing on. And outside of that, like if a lead didn't get tracked, or you know what I mean, oh well, it's not going to be the end of the world. But yeah, so stay on top of the shit that matters, prioritize, and like cut out time between tasks, one task to another. You'll buy back hours every day just in that.
And we'll do last and not least, because I know that Dan's got to go. Dan, time-saving hack, and you only got 3 minutes because you got a sales call. So
no worries, we'll be good. I'll show up late on purpose to show my authority. Time-saving hacks. Turn your phone off when you're doing deep work, especially like content. Protect that time like it's your baby, because it is. Ryan's laugh. Yeah, like so when you have like that creative work, because that's really what's going to drive your business forward is content. If you're running ads and it's ads, right? Like that, protect that time like you mean it. So turn your phone off, make sure that, if you need to get a cup of coffee, do whatever you got to do, lock in. And to Ragnar's point, or whoever it was, my phone lives on D&D, so I don't see notifications even from my own parents. Like why? Because that's going to steal a lot of your energy. And for me, all of my distractions come from my phone. So I know like if I'm going to work, I'm turning that damn thing off so that I can actually focus. And I think that for me was probably the two biggest things. D&D, phone off when you're working, have your calendar. Let's be real, people have calendars, but sometimes they don't stick with them anyway. So like the bigger thing that will actually make an impact is like, be careful about your phone. I know we live on our phones for work, but if you can just protect that time, I think you'll be in a much better spot. Hopefully
helpful, Stevie?
Yeah. Thank you guys.
You're always on time, Stevie.
I am always on time.
You're always on time. She's always on time.
Has never been late.
Well, guys, that is a wrap for all of us. That is a wrap. If you guys got some value from Ragnar, from Dan, from Max, from Sammy, can you please drop some love in the chat box? Lucy had her hand up. Where's Lucy?
She's there. She did have her hand up.
Oh, she did have her hand up.
She got kicked off.
Hi. I thought you dropped your hand on purpose. That's my mistake.
I didn't even notice it was down until the end. I was like, no, what's happening? I thank you so much. This has been so valuable. And I remember listening to Sammy on like all of my car drives, listening to pod chats when you sent it to me, and I refused to join the CLA at the beginning of you reaching out, and like listening to Sammy's struggles and the relatability and trying to put myself in your shoes of where you're at was really, really insightful. And my biggest question is like, how do you build that mindset? Because I noticed like I've just hit my second 10K month and now like the imposter syndrome is kicking in. I'm like, what if I just got lucky? And like I'm telling myself this month, like this is gonna be a record-breaking month and it's gonna be the best month ever. But then there's still that doubt in the back of my head, like, oh no, it's not going to happen for you again. It was just luck. When like I'm proving to myself I can do it. And so how do you get to a point where you're in the MDM where you're like, this is sustainable. I know that I can keep doing this. And like, you just know that that's a sustainable business model. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I struggle with this a fuck ton, like the, the imposter syndrome and everything like that. But I think, coming up with some sort of a routine where it's like one thing I heard, one good podcast, if you guys want to listen to, Jay Shetty and Emily McDonald, I think they just dropped it like 2 days ago, talks about a really bunch of good shit in there that would kind of hit like on this as well. But I think like writing down your fears and like really identifying like what are you actually afraid of, like writing that down so it's actually in front of you, and then like doing like the two different sides of it where it's like, like what if this just never happened, like what, like you're fearful of this, like you're fearful of not ever hitting 10K again. Well, what if you just fucking hit 10K every month for the rest of the time? Like looking at the flip side of that, changing the way that you look at things. But then like I think like the morning routine is just so apparent to break this, where I wrote the same fucking, I don't know, 4 or 5 sentences, like I'm this, I'm that, fucking money comes to me effortlessly frequently, like all that kind of shit. Like I fucking like I have that shit ingrained in my journal, the same fucking lines every single morning, every single day. I've missed very few this entire year, where it's like you just have to be so fucking intentional with your mindset work, where it's like, we're portraying ourselves online as an authority. Like we are helping people lose weight. We're helping people change lives. We are the authority, where it's like, you have to look at your life and be like, okay, like if I want to show up powerfully as this, it's like, where are the holes? Where are the gaps? Where's my mindset lacking? And just hammering fucking home on that, like every day. Like it has to be like, like the gym, like you never miss a gym. You wouldn't miss a doctor's appointment. You wouldn't miss a fucking dentist. You probably wouldn't miss a hair appointment. Like it's like that shit is just like a non-negotiable. Like that shit's on the calendar. It gets done, scheduled. You're there for it. And the mindset shit is the same thing. Like you just have to treat it like, if this doesn't happen, like my ship is fucking burning. And I feel that like if there's days like, when I'm traveling and I miss a morning routine, it's like my day always feels like shit after that, where it's like, it's just that last little piece where it's like, fuck, like, I should have just spent a couple extra minutes this morning doing it, even though it wouldn't have been perfect, where it's like, you just write down what the fears are. What if it never happens? The complete flip side of that. And it's just like, you just got to be so religious with it every single day and like finding different ways to spice it up. Cause after a while, it's like the same morning routine is going to be fucking boring. And then it's like, okay, like, what if you just rearrange things? What if you tried something new? What if you did this? What if you did that? It's like spending the first 30, I spend like 45 minutes to an hour in the morning before I even fucking touch my phone, open anything, where it's like I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm praying, listening to my vision video, looking at my vision board, doing some fucking push-ups to wake myself up and going for a walk. Like I do this shit every morning. Like that is a non-negotiable. I have to get that shit done. And it's like, having those affirmations, like, I make 10K is my new normal. 10K is my new normal. 10K is my new normal. Put on your fucking phone screen, have that motherfucker be your background. And then you're every time, because we're on our phone all day. And then every time you look at it, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like I did this twice. Like, why not do it 3? Why not do it 4? And it's just like, it's just the constant reminders, the sticky notes. Yeah, see, fucking Ragnar knows what's up. You just have to constantly remind yourself and be surrounded by it. Like my basement looks crazy. It looks like a fucking rainbow. I got sticky notes everywhere, all kinds of different shit, where it's like, you just got to have like those reminders in front of you and just fucking hammer home every day.
Sammy, what do you think?
I can say sticky notes. I have the sticky notes. Every time you ever say anything to me, Brian, I pretty much write it down and I put it on a sticky note. And one of them was like, if you've done it once, you can do it again. You do it once, you do it again. And it's just like putting in the reps, because same, like, and I still like all the time have like a little bit of self-doubt in the background, but also I'm like, it can be there. It can drive me to want to keep pushing, and I don't care. Like I can be like, oh my God, freak out. But then at the same time, be like, cool, keep going, and use it as a drive to be like, I'm not going to let that happen. But definitely, like, if you can do it once, you can do it again. And as long as you're taking the actions that are going to get that you did before, that are going to get you there, it's going to keep happening, would be a fundamental one. And then also, like, practically speaking, have a few safeguards. Like, I really watch my reoccurring and I make sure my reoccurring stays at a certain point so that I have a comfort zone. I know what my expenses are so that I know that, okay, as long as I have like a baseline, okay, shit level of like, I've never hit that, but like this is my minimum that I can possibly do without dying. It's not, I'm exaggerating, but this is my waterline of what I'm comfortable to earn. And then this is my expectation. And having those levels has also really helped with that kind of like, oh my God, can I do it again? It's like, this is fucking sick. Like, have those levels as well. I find that really helpful. practically speaking. But it's like, if you can do it once, you can do it again. And even if you feel overwhelmed, good, use it as a driver, and then come back to like, what's the worst that happens anyways? Like, that's what's always helped. Having those different water levels helps me to go, all right. Because, in October, I fully expected to have a really shit month because I wasn't taking sales calls. I was only doing sell by chats. I was traveling, like everything. I fully expected to be like, all right, as long as I crack this line, like it will suck, but whatever, I'll be fine. And I surpassed it. But at least I had that water line, if that helps, like knowing, all right, as long as I do that, I'll be fine. It'll still be a pretty banger month, like whatever. And then I'm going to surpass that and do the best I can. That also kind of helped, having that kind of range, because I'm a very practical kind of person too. Like, I need action steps and things. And so seeing that kind of calms my mind down, like mapping it all out. So I would recommend doing that. You need to know your numbers, so then you know like what is actually going to be okay without freaking out. And then you can't freak out about it because you've got data. If you've done it, you're doing all the steps, you're going to do it again. You just keep going, keep proving to yourself. It's taken months to prove to myself too. Like, you just keep proving to yourself, reflect back, look at your Stripe. I like look at your thingamajiggy to be like, holy shit. I'll look at it. I made like 10K in 1 week once, and I literally looked at it like, I reckon every day. I just kept tapping on it being like, the fuck did that actually just happen? Like, and I kept showing, I even was like, John. And as it kept growing throughout the week, I was like, John. And he was just like, I get it. I see it the first time. But like, do it over and over again. Like, keep looking at that stuff and be like, because even still sometimes I'm like, sorry, what? And then what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, that's my other thing. I'm like the kind of person that I'm like, if I had to blow up my whole entire business and go back to physio, like, it would freaking suck. But like, it's not like the likelihood of that is like 0.00001%. But like, yeah, well, I'll survive. Like, shit, it's the fan. We'll work it out. She'll be fine. Like, that's my other mentality with things, is like, it'll always work out.
I think that's some really solid advice. I think I do need to get tuned in on the numbers, because even like halfway through October, I was stressing out, and then I looked at my numbers and I was like, why am I stressed? I'm over 5K already. And then I sold 2 people on my challenge. I'm like, all right, well, we're over 10K. Like, I've been stressed as tits all month, and now I'm like, I'm fine. Like, what's happening? But
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no,
mindset, and then the practical side of things as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
thank you,
Cool.
Sam.
Thanks, Lucy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being my clients. Ragnar and Sammy, Max and Dan, thank you again for coming. This was amazing. Thank you for being my guest superstars. You guys absolutely crushed it. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks for having us. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Anytime, man. That was actually a blast.
Appreciate you
Yeah.
guys.
Yep.
Thank you
I
guys so
loved
much.
it.
Thank
Hope
you.
you guys have the best of your entire lives. Make sure you guys give Ragnar and Sammy some love on social media. What's your guys' social media handles in case they wanted to give you guys some love?
I'll drop it in the chat at the Beast Within 9.
The Beast Within 9. And then Sammy, what's yours?
Sammy with an I, SAMI_live strong.
Sammy_livestrong. If you guys got some value from this podcast, make sure you guys give Sammy and Ragnar some love on social media. Love you guys. Have the best day ever. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at @TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.